Bismillah, alhamdulillah, la ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar. Today we're proceeding and we're continuing with chapter 22, Al-Hajj, the pilgrimage. And we stopped before at verse number 30. Today we're starting with verse number 31. But as we proceed to understand the concept, to understand how this chapter flows, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is emphasizing on the fact that Allah is the greatest. Allah is the one who is supposed to be worshipped alone. Allah is the one who is supposed to be obeyed. He's supposed to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Hajj, which a pilgrimage, is a very sophisticated ritual because it has so many different aspects. It has so many different duties. It has so many different rituals we have to do at a specific time, with a specific state, with a specific clothes, with a specific place, with a specific, everything is specifically done for a purpose. And you have here the accuracy. In for example, in salah or prayer, yes, you have to do the prayer in a certain way, but here and there, there is some actions which is basically can compensate for those things which you miss or here and there. Even if you miss a prayer, you can redo it at a certain time. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's, of course, you have to supposed to do the prayer on time, but it's not like Hajj. Hajj is very, you have to be very accurate, very precise, and do everything. And that shows us the obedience. That's why you needed to do it once in your lifetime, right? And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keeps emphasizing His greatness and the obedience, and to go to Him for that ibadah or for that ritual with all what you got. Because this, if the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ have said, if you do Hajj one time, correctly and accurately, and it was all kind of dedication, only you're doing this for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not for the people to say, oh, this guy, he have made Hajj or went to pilgrimage, or to say to the people that say this guy is did this or so. You're doing it only for the sake of Allah, and with humbleness, with obedience, all your sins are forgiven. That's the benefits of the Hajj. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala proceeding, He said, حُنَفَاءَ لِلَّهِ. Indeed, they are upright in devotion to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. غَيْرَ مُشْرِكِينَ. And this is a very important also. The Hajj is one of the aspects, or one of the rituals which show the person monotheism, that he only worship God alone. That all these things going through around the house of Allah, or slaughtering the cows, or slaughtering the camels, or slaughtering the sheep, all these slaughtering is only symbols. But the main thing is, you are doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks you to do so. So it's all of these are just symbols. It's nothing. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said He doesn't really care about their meat or whatever, but He cares about the taqwa, which means the God fearing, God consciousness. What is going to happen from these things. وَمَن يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَكَأَنَّمَا خَرَّ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ فتخطفه الطير أو تهوي به الريح في مكان سحيق. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given an example of a person who will have partners, will use partners, will have partnership, will associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What will happen? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that this person will, all of his effort, all of his actions, even his body, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that parable, it says it's going to be cut down, and the birds will eat it, or the wind will put it in a very deep place. What that mean? Means that the person who have or associate partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, his plan or his motives or his worship won't be 100% sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. will be broken. Where he goes after this lust, or after this temptation, or after this nightclub, or after this movie, or after this game, or after, every day, this website, this trying to waste his time for nothing beneficial. And that is why, or committing basically a partnership is even get deeper than that. Like you go and worshiping, like for example, anything, doing like what happened at that time in the old time with the kuffar, with the disbelievers of Mecca. They were do things like worshiping the idols. That's partnership, association partner with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people go and worship the graves, associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Some people also go and do things which are different than what's supposed to be done in these rituals, associating partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So going according to your temptations, your lust, your desires, is basically everything will go in vain. As a person, it will go in vain, and you're not going to be able to receive Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's happiness, satisfaction, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward from these actions. ذلك ومن يعظم شعائر الله فإنها من تقوى القلوب. And did see next ayah came about the ability for a believer who will honor these rituals, honor them, do them precisely, do them accurately. And if you do those according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have shown us with his Prophet Muhammad alayhi salam, you will receive in your heart the humbleness. In your heart, they will have the God consciousness, God fear, and this is what it is. Because once you have that, once you achieve that, what will happen? Every action in your life, you will be auditing yourself. You will look at yourself before you do the action. God permit that. If this is acceptable by Allah, did the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ did this? Did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala authorize this? And that is what actually the outcome, the end results of rituals, of the salah, of the prayers, the zakah, the charity, the siyam, the fasting, the hajj. All of this is to clean the heart. So the heart will become clean. And when the heart is clean, they'll have that kind of consciousness. Will be able to, wow, if this is before I do the action, I think about it. And that is what it is. Now you are in control. Not yourself, not your lust, not the devil who controlling you, who every day make you follow him, make you doing what he wants you to do. And this is the true iman. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said, innaha, all this ritual, whoever will do them, whoever will honor them, it is here too, فَإِنَّهَا مِن تَقْوَى. He will achieve God consciousness. He will achieve in this. It's all about piety. To be pious, to be piety, to be have a fear for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, conscious. One of the big thing which we have, all what we see from injustice, from crimes, from taking the rights of the poor, taking the rights of the needy, taking the rights of everybody. I mean, people are taking rights of each other. Why is that? Because nobody is believe that Allah watching him, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will hold him accountable. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said these rituals, all of it, it's just there to guide your heart. It's there to commit, to have piety and iman and belief. So you stop doing the sins. You stop doing the wrong thing. لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعٌ إِلَى أَجَلٍ مُسَمَّى. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, indeed, he said that you will have a manafa', you will get benefits. Benefits from what? Benefits from the sacrifice, the animals which you sacrifice, and also from these rituals which you do. Like we said before, and this from the ayah, it's the humbleness of the heart, the belief in the heart, the love of Allah in your heart, the fearing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in your heart, the fear that I'm gonna be standing before Allah in the hereafter, and He will hold me accountable of what I have done here on this earth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِلَى أَجَلٍ لَكُمْ فِيهَا مَنَافِعُ. So we have benefits until the time of Hajj, the time of pilgrimage is ended. ثُمَّ مَحِلَّهَا إِلَى الْبَيْتِ الْعَتِيقِ. And indeed, everything and then about sacrifice animals, about these animals, that the end of the day it will be slaughtered. It will be, the meat will go to the poor, the needy, by close to the ancient house, which is the Kaaba in Mecca. وَلِكُلِّ أُمَّةٍ جَعَلْنَا مَنْسَكًا لِيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ عَلَى مَا رَزَقَهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, for every nation, Allah, He had made a ritual. It might be different. We have in the Jewish tradition, they have also sacrificing animals. They sacrifice animals as well, in a different way, maybe. But so every nation, they have that kind of ritual of sacrifice. And we need to understand why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala choose animals to be sacrificed as a way or a symbol to show piety. And to show obedience to Allah. First of all, and also show the greatness of Allah, and showing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who's worthy to be worshipped alone. A lot of people until our time worship animals in different religions. They say we don't worship animals, but in the meanwhile, they said God's soul have came into the animals. That's why we don't even eat animals. We don't even slaughter animals. We don't even eat meat. We don't even slaughter meat. Because God's soul is in it, or something like that, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, no. Animals here, you sacrifice it. This is actually a way you get closer to me when you sacrifice these animals and you slaughter them. So the reason for the animal here sacrificer is removing also any shirk, any partnership with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you slaughter these animals. So people cannot worship animals. You see a cow passing by, oh, you can't cross the street, or the traffic will stop for the cow to pass. I mean, you're making the cow as a god. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, no, these animals are sacrificed. And this is why He's showing you that they're not God. They're nothing. You're not supposed, you only worship God alone. So that's number one. Remove, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by sacrificing the animal, remove that kind of partnership with Allah, which is an alada, like in the Hindu traditions or wherever, other different animals in different religions and different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, it's me alone, Him alone. There's no idols, there's no animals, there's nothing. It's just the animals here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is showing that these animals, if the animals are in partnership with Allah, sacrifice them. And this is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked for, that ritual of the Hajj, the pilgrimage, to sacrifice the animals. And also, it's a way to give the needy. Some people don't even have access to meat. With the prices right now, with everything right now, meat is expensive, especially in these poor countries. So these poor people wait from one year to another to have some meat to eat, them and their families. So also the proteins come with the animals. So there is a lot of benefits that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is mentioning. لِيَذْكُرُوا اسْمَ اللَّهِ. So for every nation we have made rituals, so they might remember the name of Allah. Remember that Allah in control. Remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is worthy to be worshipped alone. And to thank Him of what He have provided us from the cattle, camels, cows, And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَإِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. And this is also proof that the animals, when you sacrifice them, you are even confessing that these animals are not even gods. These animals has nothing to do with having a holy soul or being holy or anything like that. فَإِلَهَكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Indeed, your God is only God. One God worthy of worship. فَلَهُ أَسْلِمُوا. فَلَهُ أَسْلِمُوا means surrender to Him. Surrender to Him. Believe in Him. Follow His laws. Follow His rituals. Follow what He asks you to do. Be obedient to Him. وَبَشِّرَ الْمُخْبِتِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used here at the end, وَبَشِّرَ الْمُخْبِتِينَ, and give the good news, give the glad tidings to those who are humble. Because you're not going to reach to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're not going to reach closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala unless your heart is humble, unless your heart is clean, unless you respect others, unless you value the human being life, unless you don't feel that you're better because your skin color, I'm better. Because you speak a certain language, you're better. Because you speak, all of this is wrong. If you believe in any of those, that you're better than anybody, the humbleness, Allah's love is not going to come into your heart. So you have to believe that you become a humble person, that everybody's the same. You value the human life. You value any person, regardless his color, his race, his language, his religion. And that's the beauty. وَبَشِّرَ الْمُخْبِتِينَ. Give glad tidings, give news to those who are humble, because they will absorb the message. They will understand the message. They will act upon that message of Islam, of Iman, of surrendering to Allah, of the message of Allah, which is the Quran and the Prophet Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. الَّذِينَ إِذَا ذُكِرَ اللَّهُ وَجِلَتْ قُلُوبُهُم. When the name of Allah is mentioned to them, their hearts are humble. Their hearts are very, very, very humble. And remember Allah, when they remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, their heart tremble when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is mentioned. You know, why would their heart tremble when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's name is mentioned? Because this is the holy. He's Allah, the King of the heaven and earth, the one who can make you happy, the one who can make you sad, the one who can make you rich, the one who can make you poor, the one who's in control, the one who's in charge, the one who's able to change anything and everything at any time He wants. So when His name mentioned, yes, your heart will tremble. Those are the people who have humbleness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَالصَّابِرِينَ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَهُمْ. And they are patient on what have came or what have afflicted them. Remember, the journey of a believer on this earth, it won't be simple. It won't be easy. It won't be smooth. It will have hurdles. It will have hard times. Because you will be attacked. You will be called name. You will be physically, sometimes you will be verbally abused by people. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, be patient. And even doing these rituals, like the Hajj pilgrimage, we heard that so many people died of the heat strokes. It's tough. It's an act of worshiping which you need dedication. Because you're leaving everything behind you. Money, kids, your house, your home, and you might not come back. So all of these things need sabr, patience. Even when you go to Hajj, you're so crowded. Millions, 4 or 5 millions. In a small place. You have to be patient. You can't argue. You can push somebody. This is all, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, be patient. وَالصَّابِرِينَ عَلَى مَا أَصَابَهُم. We said again, so when you are living as a believer, your life is not going to be smooth. So be patient. Allah will reward you immensely for being patient. وَالْمُقِيمِ الصَّلَاةِ. And those who are performing prayers. Prayers is a proof. Prayers on time. And prayers in the masjid, at the masajid, in the house of Allah, in the house of worship. Being prayers, those are proof of your iman and belief. وَالْمُقِيمُ الصَّلَاةِ وَمِمَّا رَزَقْنَاهُمْ يُنْفِقُونَ. And from what we have given, they spend. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين.